after that. Yeah. But I can remember as a kid coming home from school in the early, when I was in first and second grade, they had a barber shop in there and a pool table downstairs. And I don't know whether it was a bar, but they were doing a lot of drinking in there anyway. I guess it was soda mostly. But that time you had to take the tops off the soda bottles and fry them out. And they had hammered them all in the stools and the kegs. They had like kegs for stools, and it was all covered with these tops of soda bottles.
The stools they sat on, you mean?
Yeah, the stools they sat on.
Was that during Prohibition or in that area?
No, that was
before that.
I think it was before then. Yeah. But it was mostly soda bottles, and there was a barber shop in there. And of course, we always stopped in the grocery store. They had 2 grocery stores at night. They had the stove there in the winter time. A couple of farmers would be playing checkers or something else, you know.
See, those are the things that you never hear about.
I'll tell you a nice story. When he went to school about the stoves. In the old schools, you know, they all had stoves. Bad boys and bad boys.
Yeah, we'd stuff up the chimney sometimes.
Get out of school early that day.
Well, we had a very strict teacher. That was Mrs. Green. She really took care of us. She didn't stand for.
I had another one too in the first grade. She made you switch from your left hand to your right hand.
That was Mrs. Osborne in my kindergarten. Well, they didn't have kindergarten. We started right in first grade. And I was left-handed. So that time, she wouldn't allow me to use my left hand to write or anything. And of course, I would always reach over to pick up the pencil in my left hand. So finally, I guess she had enough of that. So she said, we had a phonograph in the front. It had a big horn, you know how they stuck out at that time. And she said, look, she says, the next time you reach for that pencil in your left hand, it's going to come out and really bark at you. So that must have scared me, because that broke me. That I always wrote right-handed after that. But
it does everything else left-handed.
Yeah.
It's too bad. It shouldn't be done. As a school teacher, I know it should be done.
But it was done that time.
Yeah.
Is there any other activities that were in Dayton that were, you know, really popular, like the dances or
the school.
The school dances?
Yeah, they had almost monthly dances, didn't they, in the public schools.
And when we got our new school here, it was lovely.
Yes, Friday night dances.
Yeah. Lovely.
Good orchestras.
And then there's a little one building over there at South River Road there. What do you call it? Or Brown's Corner. Brown's Corner. There was a little place there where they had dances too. It was an old schoolhouse though.
Road Hall School.
Yeah.
Was that in South Brunswick? Or was that in
Well, just on the other side.
Yeah, just
borderline.
Yeah, right.
You know, if you go down a little ways, South Brunswick goes over the borderline
right.
for some reason. I don't know
Yeah, it goes
why.
out into the cemetery, yeah.
There's 13 schools back then.
Yeah, isn't that something?
13 schools.
Isn't that something? And I can remember, and I don't know whether it was through the church or whether it was the school, but they hired this lady from New York to come out and coach us in a play. Months we would practice, and it was a musical and one thing and another. And we gave the play, and everybody came out. So that was the type of things we had at that time.
Well, the Grange used to meet in the school, and it also met upstairs in one of those buildings that's there on the corner now. And then, of course, there was a beauty parlor up there.
Yeah. Yeah, the Grange met for several years before they built this new building in '41. They met in Erickson's grocery store upstairs. They had their monthly meetings up there.
And the Ericksons were always the grocers in Dayton?
I think so.
Vanderveer was the first one.
Oh, did he have the same building?
No, he was down.
He was down
further.
farther,
Yeah.
but that corner building.
But I think Erickson, no, Mr. Ely was the first one who had the store there. And then after Mr. Ely, Mr. Erickson started the store. They had a big fire there, and one of the grocery stores burnt down. And this must have been in about 1924 or 25. Anyway, we didn't have a fire department then, so I think the fire department started around 1924 here. So that was before the Cranberry came out, and one of the fellas, Mr. Wyckoff, lost his life there. The chimney fell down on him. But that was a grocery store right on the corner. Right on the Five Corners, where the two buildings are now.
And the dairy farm used to
yeah.
be where IBM is.
Yeah, that was Mr. Yaris's. Yeah,
Yeah, we
And
were here when they started that.
My
too.
uncle, my dad's uncle,
yeah.
Ed Brabson,
Oh, yeah.
built the house and owned that farm
No kidding.
before John Yaris.
Well, now, did he build that the brick building up there on the farm?
It was,
Are you talking about IBM?
we're IBM, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I often
It was
marvel.
I don't know what, it was a stone of some type, but it wasn't brick.
No, no. You're talking about the house now.
Right,
That the house where Yaris lived?
yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The house on that side, the IBM side,
Yeah.
big
yeah.
old farmhouse.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I can remember that house. It was a big one.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a nice house.
Yeah, we woke up one morning. I've told this story so many times. And it was all staked out, and we didn't know what it was staked out for.
Wasn't that
And it was
notification
frightening.
of 200 feet and?
I often wonder whether it was or wasn't, but we didn't get any
At
notice.
that point, I guess they weren't too strict or something. We did not know. And I'm telling you, we lived in dust for weeks and weeks. Months. Digging. This
But-
just blew right over here at us.
But they were good neighbors, IBM. I don't
Yeah, and it's
know-
been fine.
I don't know what
since
we're
the
going to
time.
get now, but we'll have to wait and see. That was really the start of industry in South Brunswick when IBM came in.
They're good neighbors, they were fine. Very nice people to have there. Of course, we don't know who's there now.
Princeton Scientific.
You do know?
That's what the sign says.
That's what the sign says, yeah. Yeah,
Is a sign there?
Yeah, that's first I saw today too. I guess they just put it up recently.
yeah.
Well, why haven't I seen it?
We haven't taken notice of it, I guess. No.
Is it right out there?
I think it's down to the next entrance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Down further, down that way.
All I've
yeah.
seen is for rent signs or for sale. or
Available, yeah.
Available.
well, they had to clean up their water condition.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's going to take a little while to clean that up, you
Went to bid for $1 and no one bid.
know. Yeah, yeah,
Wanted to give it to the school board.
yeah.
Well, we were the first house to build, first people to build in this area. This was all Erickson's
Farmland,
farm.
yeah,
And so we got the first lot. And after that, the family all built. Several Ericksons.
yeah. You know, we paid, what, was it $1,000 for 2 lots? Yeah.
That's all right.
Yes.
Of course, then we didn't have any water or any sewer. We had to put in our own electric, of course.
Were you affected at all by the IBM water problem?
Well, no, I
Let's
don't
say
think
so.
we were, no.
We don't think so.
No, I never had my well tested at that time, but of course then we went for city water.
I think about it a lot.
So do we.
That's gonna really cost a lot of money to fix that, to straighten
I
that
don't
out.
know if they ever can.
If they ever can, yeah, yeah. It's terrible, you know.
At this point, there's really not.
It's just gonna have to take its time, I guess.
Well,
It's
they
gonna
would have
take-
done it. I mean, they, like you say, they were good neighbors. They were willing to do anything,
Yeah.
spend anything.
Yeah,
They weren't a bad neighbor. They were good neighbors.
yeah. Well, I don't know of anything else, do you?
The rest of the story is to come later.
To be continued.
We'll have to come back in a couple more years and update, right?
Right.
Well, thank
We
you very
don't know
much.
the answer.
No,
Yeah,
no.
thank you,
No.
it's very, very interesting.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, we really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff there, I don't know if they've seen it all or not.
See, the Dayton School did a 50 years or something, I don't know. But that's when they gathered a lot of Doris Kearns history and a lot of the pictures.
Good.
And so it's in, there's some very interesting things.